Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together because, guys, they are linked. What I'm about to show you is more evidence to that point. I'm about to walk you through how one of the leaders of the Democrat strategist, all the rage, James Carville, the guy who is like renowned on the left as the main person to do all the planning, is throwing Democrats under the bus on the very things that you and I despise from the bottom of our souls. You're going to love every second of this because it directly relates to your benefit, particularly around our gun rights push, because it would not have been possible had they not done the things that he's about to decry. Everything is going to be linked in the description box below, exactly with the timestamps for your perusal. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because guys, this fight for our gun rights is bigger than just our gun rights alone. They are linked with politics broadly. That's what we try to highlight on this channel. And if you want to be part of that fight, please hit that like button because we are going forward with this rights train. But with that said, let me jump right into this because a lot of the things that this guy's about to say, guy right in the middle, James Carville, is stuff that we have been talking about, you and I, that's parallel to gun rights, okay? He's going to destroy the Democrats for their woke language, their woke ideology, a bunch of the things that we have been hitting forever. He's about to destroy them on it, and because they did not heed his warnings, it puts us in a position to capitalize for our gun rights, like national reciprocity. That's a really good example. All right, all these things are linked. I think I've landed that plane. Let's get it. The first segment. This is 136 to 250. Bear with me. This is gold.
Proposition. Had President Biden gotten out in, say, May of 2023, I don't have any doubt that Democrats would have won, and it wouldn't have been close. I understand the fundamental of this election in literally 90, I don't know, I'd say 99, it might even be 100, is do people want to change or do they want to stay on the direction that they're going? This was a 70% wrong track country, and we didn't offer people what they were looking for, and that's something different.
All right, I'm going to pause him really quickly because I want to highlight on this really, really big time. If you were following this channel during the election, that is one of the things that we had multiple episodes on. It came up time and time and time again, and we told you, and by we, I mean we talked about it, but I was talking about it in the actual episode, that 70% wrong track that was in the lead up into the election was a really big deal. How are you going to carry the vote in the swing states if you're losing in the polling and 70% of the country thinks we're on the wrong track? We said it. Let me know in the comments if you remember us talking about it. But James Carville is now coming out and saying this was a big deal the whole time. Really? This is what I mean, guys. It's not about anything beyond the simple idea that our rights and our gun rights are linked together. Winning on the politics broad and letting them make these mistakes, highlighting these mistakes, and then bringing them to attention, while they may not be immediately tier 1 gun related, they are parallel to that fact because we would not be able to start the push that we're about to start had they not done these things, had we not highlighted these things, and had we not allowed them to make these mistakes. What I'm trying to drive home here is the very fight for our rights is directly correlated to the politics broad. That is a massive thing to understand because that's how we got to this point. Let's keep going.
And, the fact that we came as close as we did, it probably shows that I would interpret that as an underlying weakness on Trump's part, but you can interpret it any way that you want to. But clearly, where you have over 2/3 of the country that says we're in the wrong direction, we need something new. You got to give them something new. And that moment on The View, when it said, what would you have done differently in Biden? And you said, I can't think of anything. My heart sank.
My heart sank. Okay, so now we're going to do another question of you guys. Do you guys remember when we covered that exact same thing? If you don't, this is what we talked about on the day after it happened. It was 2 months ago. 85,000 of you or 84,000 of you watched it. Kamala just nuked her own campaign. This is too good to be true. Guys, The reason that we focus on things like this is because they directly correlate to our gun rights fight in the here and now, right now. 2.5 months ago, Kamala Harris went on The View and said this. And again, all of these things are in the same direction. They're all correlated. All right, check this out. She said this. This out, people. This is crazy.
Something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years.
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Molly, what do you make of that? I'm surprised, frankly, that she doesn't have more to say about this, given...
Okay. This is the reason, guys. We are all about the gun rights. We're all about the Second Amendment rights. We're all about the rights of passing the blessings that we have now on to the next generation. But the easiest way to do that is to understand the entire battlefield and then capitalize on it. Because what she did in that moment, as this guy just said, James Carville, she effectively sunk her own campaign, which the gun rights are going to directly benefit. This is big, people. That's why we do this. All right, let me get over to this next one. 422. Again, all timestamps are linked in the description for your convenience.
A pretty good candidate.
And you mentioned there, James, what you term NPR language, which I know from previous conversations we have had, you don't really like the term woke or the term wokeness, but by NPR language, I think you mean this kind of, well, what used to be called politically correct
This is
language.
huge.
What is it that you think is electorally so damaging to Democrats about that, the use of that language?
Oh, so what you look for with politics revolves around things we call sticky, things that you remember, like defund the police, okay? 3 stupidest words in the history of the English language, but it's stuck, all right? And they use this code of Latinx, of which, literally nobody uses. It actually puts people off. My favorite of all is cultural appropriation. What the hell is that? And I make the case that if you come to New Orleans and you buy...
Okay, so hold on a second. Do you guys understand what he's saying? The reason that we are in a position to push our gun rights forward further than they have been in a very long time is because the left went down the woke mind virus. They went down language around defunding the police. They went down the language of forced language around Latinx, referring to an entire race of people that they didn't even identify, but because the intellectuals in the collegiate areas of the left decided it was going to be, that was going to be. So that worked out. And then you got cultural appropriation. Guys, those are all independent, arrogant points of the left. Every single one of them. You can even go down the road of the defunding the police and the correlations that it had in the gun rights purchases and the amount of people that actually bought guns because of that. These fights, while they are all related to our rights and they supplement individual single area rights, like our gun rights in this case, this was a blowback across broad proportions. This is why we fight like this. It's a new way of fighting, and it's an effective way of fighting. Let's let them keep going.
Sweatshirt and says, I got bourbon face on shit street. I'm not going to say you're poking out culture, you eat red beans and rice, and say you want some more. I mean, the idea, most cultures want to be appropriated, that people are proud of their culture. Yeah, I mean, it's some of the stuff is just so idiotic that it defies imagination that people actually live like this.
It's so idiotic, it defies explanation that people live like this. There is a direct resistance to the forced language, to the political correctness, to the woke language, the NPR language. That's what he's referring to. And whoever's watching this video, I have a pretty high likelihood and confidence to say you guys agree with that sentiment. Because I personally hate that crap. You can't say this, but you can say this, and if you're this group, you can say it, but if you're that group, you can't say it. I hate that crap. I'm sure you guys do too. That's what he's referencing. The moral uppers and the intelligentsia that would dare tell us how we can live our lives. They will tell us what is good for us, you plebeians. That's what it is. It's authoritarianism through an elitism. It's like the worst combination of like multiple traits. Again, These things are leading to a gun rights revolution. This is incredible. All right, last one I'm going to show you. This one is just beautiful, and I put it in here. It's a short one, 1353. Let's go there together, because I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my aortic pump. Let's get it.
Profoundly believe. But when you're in an election, people are going to want an election about their lives, not the candidate's life. And I take a back seat to no one in my contempt for Trump and what a unpatriotic glob of protoplasm he is, or whatever you want to describe it. But the problem with talking about Trump's life the entire time is you're not talking about people's lives. And
you can be a Republican, you can be a conservative, you can be a libertarian, you can be a liberal, you can be a leftist, you can be whatever the heck you want, you can be an independent. The language that he just used should be on a t-shirt that everyone wears. You can talk all you want about a candidate's life, but that means you're not talking about the people's lives of who the policies you're trying to dictate are going to affect. Does that not exemplify the entire left, which happens to coincide with all gun control? It's not about will you be safe or will you not be safe going down those streets. It's not about are women more or less safe because of waiting periods. No. It will keep you safe. You don't know, because have you seen how bad Donald Trump is? He is so bad. We got people that got home invasions, and we've got all these carjackings by 12 and 14-year-olds. But did we tell you Trump actually didn't turn in his tax returns? Guys, what you're looking at is the utter destruction of the left through their own authoritarianism and their own elitism. And the gun rights of which we fight every day is going to directly benefit. And us paying attention to all of the battlefield will help us win that little battle right over here. I'm telling you, this is big. Let me know if I land in that plane, and I'll see you on the next one. Brady.